Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have some drama. Get ready, we have some console war drama. We have PlayStation's CEO Jim Ryan calling out Xbox's gaming CEO Phil Spencer for the Call of Duty deal that was proposed, and it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's console wars, it's fanboy wars, so grab your controller, grab your lube, and let's get ready to go. So here is going to be what we saw from the GameIndustry.biz article. This is coming from PlayStation's CEO Jim Ryan. I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum. Microsoft only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines that principle. So what is Microsoft's proposal, you guys may be asking? Well, recently I did a whole video on this. Phil Spencer said that they had guaranteed that after the Sony and Activision deal finally ends, and Microsoft actually owns the Call of Duty franchise as well as Activision, they guarantee that Call of Duty will still be coming to PlayStation for several years after that deal ends, with parity between the two consoles. And what that means is there's going to be no more PlayStation exclusivity. Even though Microsoft is going to own Activision and Call of Duty, there's going to be no Microsoft exclusivity. It's all going to be fair footing for the first time since 2010, right? And that's fantastic. We haven't had anything like that in a very long time. Definitely some good news there. And he also guaranteed, like I said, that PlayStation would be getting Call of Duty games for several years after the deal ends in 2024, and several, by definition, is more than 2, but not many. So it seems like Jim Ryan here was like, hey, wait a minute, he said several years, the deal was only 3. And it's like, well, by definition, several can mean 3. Like, I get that what Phil Spencer said is a little bit misleading, because when you think of several, you may think of like lots of numbers, but several is more than 2, but not many. And guess what, Jim Ryan? 3 falls under that category. Now, exclusivity in COD is something I've been wanting to discuss for a while. It's something I have discussed many times here in the channel. I am happy to finally see it go. You know, there's so many console war fanboys out there to say Xbox had exclusivity back in the day. It's our turn. PlayStation deserves their exclusivity. Bitch, y'all had your exclusivity. It's over now. Let's be done with this, right? If you really want to dive deep, and I'm going to, let's talk about the exclusivity between Xbox and PlayStation in the COD franchise. So we had exclusivity for Microsoft for Xbox with Modern Warfare 2, the original Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, and Ghosts. Yeah, that was it. That was the exclusivity for the COD franchise with Xbox. What do we have since then? With PlayStation, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, Call of Duty World War II, Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare 2019, Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered, Black Ops Cold War, COD Vanguard, and now Modern Warfare 2022, Modern Warfare 2 Electric Boogaloo, whatever you want to call it, man. Y'all have had your exclusivity. It's been going on forever. Y'all had more than Xbox, but it's still going on, and Jim Ryan over here is all pissed off because Xbox is actually doing some good things for a change. Like, come on now. I understand the worry that he may have for his the worry that he has for his gamers. What he really means is the worry that he has for Sony's wallet, but worrying that COD may not eventually come to PlayStation. That is a possibility, and that would be shitty. That would be horrendous. That would go against everything that Microsoft and Phil Spencer have been talking about as of late, because Phil Spencer keeps coming out talking about how we need less exclusives. And when they take over Activision and the Sony deal ends and Microsoft owns everything, they're still not going to do exclusivity, according to what he said so far. Of course, they could go back on their word in the future, and I'll definitely be covering that if that happens. And I don't think it's going to, but it could happen, right? What Phil Spencer has said so far is in 2024, after the current deal with Activision and Sony goes away, which they will be honoring, despite the fact that Microsoft is going to own Activision, they're not going to be going back on their word and going back to the old Xbox exclusivity. They're like, you know what? We're done with this. We're just done with it. Even said, like, literally in his interviews that, like, it's annoying as hell that he could buy a PlayStation and his friend might have an Xbox and they can't play together because they chose to play on the wrong piece of plastic, which is honestly one of the most, like, pragmatic, like, level-headed things I've heard come from somebody in the game industry in a very long time. That is fantastic news. But now you have PlayStation CEO just seemingly all pissed off, and it's like, dude, like, what are you upset about here? What we know so far is good. At the very least, according to Phil Spencer, like straight from the horse's mouth, there will still be Call of Duty games coming to PlayStation at the very least until 2027. That's 5 years from now, guys. Hypothetically, if one of you are in, like, middle school right now, like, you'll be in college by the time this thing's over. Man, and by that point, we'll have to see what happens. You know, I'm not here to say I know anything. I don't have any inside information or anything like that. But based on what we know so far, we have until 2027 where Microsoft is going to guaranteed to release Call of Duty games to PlayStation. And I think what is like what this all boils down to is PlayStation and Sony are very upset with the fact that Microsoft is potentially going to be acquiring Activision. We keep talking about it like it's a sure thing. It's not, until it happens, it's not completely foolproof, right? There's definitely some antitrust things going on, some anti-monopoly things going on. And of course, Sony, as a huge competitor to Xbox, is like, no, they're not allowed to buy them. Are you kidding me? I mean, they already bought Bethesda and Obsidian. They already own the Fallout series. We can't give them COD too. You know, I can see why Sony is upset. But at the same time, I feel as though, and again, get the lube out, fanboy wars incoming, and I don't have a dog in the race. I literally have a PS5 sitting right here. I was playing MLB The Show earlier. I have all the consoles. But it seems like Sony really fumbled the bag after the last generation because the PS4 was blowing the Xbox One out of the water at launch. They were doing so well. Seemingly everybody was switching from Xbox to PlayStation. The COD deal was there, obviously. You know, the COD League was played with PlayStation and things like that. Like, it seemed like PlayStation was on top of the world. And it's that old adage, man, where it's hard to get up and run when you're sleeping in silk sheets. I think that's what happened because Microsoft, they were humbled. And you know what they did? They went out there, they put out a better system with the Xbox One X in terms of like actual graphical power and like actual system power. That's not a fanboy war. That's objective fact. The Xbox One X was at the time the most powerful console out there. It did 1440p, which by the way, just now today on September 7th of 2022, the PS5 now has access to 1440p. They just now added that today. And I have a feeling, they were doing the beta and stuff like that, but I have a feeling it's because they're trying to crawl their way back into the console wars and try to get back at Microsoft. You know what I mean? So it seems like Sony was on top of the world. They got a bit lazy with it. Microsoft was humbled after, you know, the golden age of way back when with, you know, Halo and Gears and COD and things like that. It seems like they were finally humbled and they're like, you know what? Let's go to work. They put out an incredible machine. You know, they put out the Xbox Series X, which I don't even have that console, but apparently that thing's doing pretty well. They bought up a couple of game studios and they're talking about ending exclusivity. They're doing the Game Pass is like the best freaking deal in gaming right now. They're doing so many good things. Meanwhile, bitter old Sony, from my perspective anyway, is sitting over there just all upset. Grumble, 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 grumble. He said several years. What he actually meant was 3, despite the fact that by definition, 3 is several years. It's like, dude, you're splitting hairs, man. You're splitting hairs at this point. Come on. Oh, man. I wish my voice is getting better. You guys tell my voice is getting better, but it's still not quite there. But regardless, ridiculous news, if you ask me. And as always, I will keep you guys posted as this story develops and as more information comes out. But those are the facts right now, as we know them. To quickly recap, Xbox and Microsoft are in the process of buying Activision. And it's planned to go through by, 2024, I believe? And if that does happen, which right now there's a bunch of companies like Sony, for example, saying, oh no, they're a monopoly, you can't do that. And it's a whole big deal, right? But should it go through, Microsoft is saying exclusivity is not going to be a thing with COD. We don't care. You're still going to have COD on PlayStation, at the very least until 2027. Why they didn't say indefinitely, I don't know. Maybe they're going to try and work out something with Sony. We have no idea. But at the very least, should that go through, COD will be on PlayStation until 2027, at the very least. And PlayStation's still pissed. Despite the fact that on your screen right here, man, Like, their exclusivity has been through the ass this entire time. And what's crazy, and I get like the idea that, like, you know, they're rooting for the home team, you know, like, we're worried about our gamers. You're worried about your bottom line is what you're worried about. But they say we're worried about our gamers and our gamers having the highest quality Call of Duty experience. Well, you're saying that at the expense of people that play on PC and people that play on Xbox. So fuck you, Jim Ryan. Fuck you for trying to, like, say we need more exclusivity in the video game world. No, we don't. If you were a gamer, if you played a game in your life, you would say that you don't want exclusivity because it's annoying as hell to not have access to certain things because you picked the wrong piece of plastic when 90% of the time you pick that piece of plastic because that's where your friends are playing. Yeah, talk about the best possible experience for your fans. Fuck off, Jim Ryan. Go fuck yourself, bud. But guys, that's it for this video here today. Voice is starting to get shot a little bit more, but yeah, definitely some funny news in my own personal opinion, and I would love to hear what you guys think about it down there in the comments. I'm gonna put on my radiation suit because I have a feeling the comments are gonna be pretty toxic, but at the same time, the comments in my videos, we usually have a pretty level-headed community here, so I just ask that we try to continue that here, but yeah, definitely very interested to see what you guys think down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.